Mrs. Benson stood by the window of her big mansion, looking out at the garden. Her heart was heavy. Her only son, Raymond, had changed completely after the accident. Once full of life, Raymond now stayed in his room all day, angry at the world. He was only 25, but had lost all hope. The accident had taken his legs. Now he used a wheelchair. But that wasn't what hurt him most. It was the way people looked at him, with pity. Even worse, the girl he loved left him the moment he became crippled. One evening, Mrs. Benson entered Raymond's room with a gentle smile. "Raymond, I want to talk to you." Raymond sighed. "If it's about the therapists or prayers again, please not today." "No, son," she said, sitting close to him. "I've made a decision. I want to bring 4 girls to this house, girls who will stay here for some time. I want you to talk to them, get to know them. I believe one of them might love you for who you are." Raymond stared at her, shocked. Then he laughed bitterly. "So now I'm a prize to be won? You want to test girls like toys in a shop? Forget it, Mom. No girl wants it." He paused, voice cracking. "They want money. They want power. They want fun. Not this," he said, pointing at his legs. Mrs. Benson's eyes filled with tears. "Please, just give it a chance." "No," Raymond shouted. "Don't bring anyone here. I don't want pity. I don't want fake love." But Mrs. Benson had made up her mind. She walked out of the room and made the arrangements. 2 weeks later, 4 beautiful girls arrived at the Benson mansion. All of them were excited, but each one had different reasons. Trisha was light-skinned, stylish, and full of energy. She came from a rich family but wanted to marry a richer man. She was bold and proud. Linda was classy and confident. Her dream was to become a TV star, and she believed marrying a wealthy man would open doors for her. Naomi looked innocent but had a sharp tongue. She loved fashion and enjoyed using men for their money. Hope was the quiet one. She came from a poor background. Her father died years ago and her mother sold vegetables to feed the family. Hope was simple, honest, and kind. The girls were welcomed warmly by the house staff. Mrs. Benson came to greet them. "I'm happy you're all here," she said. "You'll be staying here for 2 weeks. My son Raymond is around. I want you to get to know him. But remember, this house watches everything. Your words, your actions, your heart." The girls didn't fully understand what she meant, but they nodded politely. That evening, Raymond rolled into the living room. His face was hard, eyes cold. He said nothing to them. He just stared. Trisha whispered, "He's cute, but why is he so rude?" Raymond heard her. "Because I didn't invite you," he said sharply. "You're only here because of my mother's foolish plan." Naomi blinked. "What do you mean, foolish?" "You girls think I'm stupid," Raymond snapped. "You see a big house and think you can pretend to love me. Let me warn you. Nothing you do will work. I'll make sure you all run away before 2 weeks." Linda tried to smile. "We just want to know you—" "Save it," Raymond shouted. "You want my money, not me." Only Hope remained quiet. She didn't say a word. She just looked at him with sad eyes and walked away. From that night, Raymond made life difficult. He refused to talk during dinner. He shouted at anyone who came close. He rolled his wheelchair past the girls and pushed things on the floor to scare them. One morning, he threw a book at the wall when Naomi tried to say good morning. Trisha ran to Mrs. Benson. "Ma, your son is mad. We came to meet him and he's acting like we are dirt." Mrs. Benson calmly replied, "You are free to leave if you wish." But no one left, because they all still hoped to become the wife of a billionaire's son. All except Hope. She never tried to sit with Raymond. She spent time with the cook, helping to wash dishes. She helped the gardener water the flowers. When Raymond rolled past her one day, she greeted him softly. "Good morning." He didn't reply, but he noticed something. She didn't flinch or fake a smile. Her voice was calm, real. That night, Raymond told his mother, "They'll all go soon. You'll see." Mrs. Benson smiled. "We'll see, my son." The next morning, the girls gathered by the pool. wearing sunglasses, fancy robes, and drinking fruit juice like celebrities. Raymond watched them from his upstairs window, his face full of disgust. "They came for my money," he muttered to himself. "Let me show them the fire they walked into." Down by the pool, the girls were already showing their true colors. Trisha crossed her legs and adjusted her sunglasses. "Did you see the way he looked at us yesterday? Like we were disturbing his peace?" "Please, I beg. Who even wants his love? Let him keep his bad attitude. I'm here for the check, not the chair." Naomi laughed loudly. "Exactly. All this sufferhead forming Prince in a wheelchair. The money is what matters. After all, he's Mrs. Benson's only son. Once I enter this house, I'll change my mother's life forever." Linda sipped her juice and said, "I don't even care if he loves me. I just need that ring. Once we marry, he can stay in one room. I'll live my life." They laughed and laughed, tossing their weaves and fixing their nails. Only Hope sat a little away, quietly reading a book. She heard everything they said, but she kept her peace. In her heart, she felt sorry for Raymond. This must be why he is so angry, she thought. So many fake people around him. Later that afternoon, Raymond decided to test them. He called the housekeeper and said, "Tell the girls to meet me in the living room. I want to take them on a tour." When the girls came down, they saw Raymond waiting in his wheelchair, dressed in a plain white shirt and trousers. Naomi quickly smiled. "Oh, Raymond, you look fresh today." He raised an eyebrow. "Let's go." They followed him around the mansion. At first, he showed them the garden, the guest house, the mini theater, and the family museum. The girls were amazed. Trisha whispered to Linda, "This house is a gold mine. We must not joke with this chance." Raymond led them to the backyard, but instead of stopping, he rolled toward a muddy, bushy area behind the house. "Where are we going?" Naomi asked, frowning. "You'll see," Raymond replied coldly. They got to a small farmland where the workers planted vegetables. The ground was wet. The place smelled of fresh soil. "From now on," Raymond said, "any girl that wants to stay in this house must work here for an hour every morning. No makeup, no phone, no help. Just your hands and the soil." "What?" Trisha shouted. "Are you joking?" Naomi laughed. "Do we look like farmers to you?" Linda folded her arms. "This is rubbish. You think because you're crippled we'll let you stress us?" Hope said nothing. She walked toward the workers, removed her sandals, and stepped into the mud. Raymond looked surprised. "Why are you not complaining?" Hope looked at him. "Because I'm not afraid of hard work. I grew up doing this." The other girls hissed and stormed back into the house. That evening they gathered in one room to gossip again. Trisha kicked off her shoes. "This guy must be mad. How can he tell us to farm? Dig mud with these nails? For what?" Naomi added. "He's testing us." "Oh, can't you see?" "But it's fine. Let's just pretend for 2 weeks. After that, we're in." Linda nodded. "Let's act like we care. Smile when he comes. Say yes to everything. Once one of us wins, the rest can go." But Hope was alone in the kitchen, helping the cook prepare dinner. Mrs. Benson passed by and saw her. "You don't have to do this, dear. I know," Hope said with a gentle smile. "But I love cooking, and I don't like sitting around doing nothing." Mrs. Benson nodded slowly. "You have a beautiful heart." Hope blushed. "Thank you, Ma." That night, Raymond saw Hope serving dinner with the maids. She even carried a tray to his room. She knocked and waited. "What do you want?" Raymond asked coldly. "I brought your food," she said. "I didn't ask you." "I know," Hope said, "but you need to eat." Raymond sighed. "Why are you pretending to be nice? What do you want from me?" Hope placed the tray on the table. "Nothing. I just feel like you've been through a lot, and I know how it feels to be ignored." She turned and left quietly. Raymond sat there in silence, staring at the closed door. For the first time in a long while, something inside him began to soften. The next morning, Raymond sat on his balcony, watching the garden. He had not slept well. Hope's words from the night before kept ringing in his head. "I know how it feels to be ignored." He sighed and wheeled himself to the dining room. Breakfast was ready, but he had no appetite. Downstairs, the 4 girls were already sitting at the table. As soon as Raymond entered, Naomi jumped up and rushed to pull his chair out. "Good morning, Ray," she said sweetly. "Let me help you." Raymond stared at her. "Don't call me Ray." Naomi laughed nervously. "Sorry, Raymond." Trisha smiled and batted her lashes. "You look fresh this morning. I love your shirt." Raymond rolled his eyes. "Keep your fake compliments to yourself." Hope, as always, said nothing. She simply greeted him and continued eating quietly. After breakfast, the housekeeper entered and gave them gloves, boots, and tools. "What's this for?" Linda asked. "You have farming duty." "Mr. Raymond's orders," the housekeeper replied. The girls groaned loudly, except Hope, who took hers without complaint. An hour later, all 4 girls stood in the muddy garden. The sun was hot. Their hands got dirty. Naomi screamed when she saw a worm. Trisha cried when her nail broke. Linda just kept complaining, "My skin is not made for this." Hope stayed calm. She planted quietly beside one of the farmers, asking questions and learning fast. Raymond watched from a distance. He saw how the other girls looked at Hope with jealousy. Later that afternoon, a new drama started. Trisha entered the living room where Hope was resting. "So you think you're smart?" Trisha said. Hope looked up. "What do you mean? You think we don't see what you're doing? Always helping in the kitchen, greeting the maids, pretending to be holy?" "I'm not pretending," Hope said calmly. Naomi and Linda walked in too. "We're warning you," Linda said. "You think being nice will win you the man and the money, but you'll soon cry." Hope stood up slowly. "I'm not here to win anyone. I'm just being myself." Naomi laughed. "Poor girl, this is not your lane." They walked out, laughing loudly. Hope sat down again. Her eyes were watery. She missed her mother. She missed home. She thought of packing her bag and going back. But something in her heart said, "Stay. Your purpose here is not yet finished." The next day, the 4 girls were called into the large sitting room. Mrs. Benson was waiting for them, sitting on a gold-plated chair like a queen. Her face looked serious. "Good morning, ladies," she said, her voice calm but firm. "Good morning, Ma," they all replied. She folded her hands and looked at each of them one by one. "When I brought you here, I promised to reward the girl who truly wins my son's heart. At first, I planned to give 10 million naira." Their eyes lit up. Mrs. Benson continued, "But now I've changed my mind. The prize is now 50 million naira." "50 what?" Naomi whispered under her breath. Mrs. Benson nodded. "Yes, 50 million naira. And I will also open a big business for the winner. But listen carefully, this is not a game. I'm not seeing real effort from any of you. You girls are not working hard enough. My son is not just a prize. He is a human being with feelings. If you want that money, then win his heart. Make him fall in love with you." Trisha almost shouted in excitement. "Thank you, Ma." Naomi smiled sweetly. "We won't disappoint you." Linda clapped softly. But Hope just stood quietly, looking at the floor. She didn't care about the money. Something in her heart told her love should not be bought. That night, the competition got dirty. Naomi was the first to try. She sneaked into Raymond's study room, wearing a short nightgown and heavy makeup. "Hi, Raymond," she said in a soft voice, walking toward him. He looked up from his book. "What are you doing here?" "I just wanted to keep you company," she said, sitting on the table. "You're always alone." She reached out to touch his face, but he pushed her hand away. "Stop it," he said. "Why? You're a man, I'm a woman, we're both adults." Raymond wheeled back slowly. "Are you so cheap? Is this how you win love?" Naomi stood up, embarrassed. "You'll regret this," she said, and ran out of the room. The next day, Trisha tried her luck. She waited for Raymond in his room, wearing a silky robe and fake tears. "I just want to comfort you," she said, placing her hand on his chest. "Get out," Raymond said coldly. "Why? Am I not beautiful enough?" "What's wrong with you?" Raymond stared at her. "What's wrong with you? Is money so powerful that you would sell your body for it? You make me sick." Trisha stormed out, angry and ashamed. Then came Linda. She prepared Raymond's favorite meal and wore a tight dress. When she brought the food to him, she leaned close, her voice soft and slow. "I made it with love," she whispered, placing her hand on his leg. Raymond grabbed her wrist gently but firmly. This is your plan too. You think I'll fall for this? Linda stepped back, her eyes wide. Leave, he said, turning his wheelchair around. That night, Naomi and Trisha sat together in the room, whispering. That ugly has guts, Naomi said. Can you imagine rejecting me? Trisha laughed. He really thinks we're here for love. He should look at himself in the mirror. It's his money we want, not his broken body. Linda walked in and joined them. Hope is pretending. Wait until she shows her true colors. None of us came here for love, let's be real. They laughed together, thinking they were smart, but what they didn't know was that Mrs. Benson had placed a small recorder under the flower vase in their room. The next morning, the girls were called to the garden. Raymond was already there with his mother. The atmosphere was tense. Mrs. Benson stood up. I have something to say, she began. This is no longer just a love test. This is now a matter of respect. I listened to your conversation last night. The girls looked at one another, confused. Raymond added, I know what each of you tried to do. Seducing me won't win my heart. It only shows me how empty you are. Mrs. Benson pointed at Naomi and Trisha. You are both disqualified. Pack your bags and leave now, Naomi gasped. Ma, please. Trisha dropped to her knees. It was a mistake. Mrs. Benson's voice was sharp. Get out! Guards came and led them into the house to pack. Naomi looked back with angry eyes. Trisha cursed under her breath. Hope stood still. Her heart was beating fast. She had done nothing wrong, but she now feared the other girls would turn on her. Raymond looked at Hope. You still have a choice. You can leave if this is too much. Hope shook her head gently. No, I'm not going anywhere. 2 girls gone, 2 left. And the real battle was just beginning. That night, the mansion was quiet. Rain began to fall lightly outside as the wind shook the curtains in Hope's room. She couldn't sleep. Her heart was heavy. Everything had become a game, a dangerous game, filled with lies, greed, and fake smiles. Earlier that day, Naomi and Trisha were disqualified. Now only 2 girls remained, Hope and Linda. Hope was reading quietly in the lounge when Linda walked in and sat beside her. Hey, Linda said, crossing her legs. Can we talk? Hope looked up, a little surprised. Sure, Linda smiled. I've been meaning to ask you something. You don't talk much. Why are you really here? Hope paused. She had tried to keep her story private, but something told her to speak. I came because of the money, Hope said honestly. My younger brother is very sick. He has a heart problem. The doctor said he needs treatment abroad. My mother has been selling everything we have. Pots, chairs, even her wedding ring. Linda blinked. That's tough. I didn't come here for love, Hope continued. But after staying here and watching Raymond, something changed. I don't love him, but I think I like him now. Not for the money, just for him. Linda chuckled. You like him just like that? Hope nodded slowly. Yes, he's not perfect, but he's kind. Even when he's angry, I see pain in his eyes. I understand him. Linda laughed out loud. Wow, you really are from the bush. Hope frowned. What do you mean? Linda leaned closer, her voice turning cold. Let me tell you why I'm here. I love baby girl lifestyle. I love expensive bags, nails, clothes, and vacations. I don't need love. I need money. Raymond? That one is just a stepping stone. Hope was shocked. Linda continued. Even if he agrees to marry me, it's simple. I'll smile and play along until that 50 million naira enters my account. Then, boom, I'll disappear with my real boyfriend. We'll travel abroad. Life will begin. Hope gasped. What? So you have a boyfriend? Of course, Linda said, rolling her eyes. A cute guy. He's waiting for me. This whole Raymond plan is just for money. Besides, who wants a man in a wheelchair? He can't even move properly. How can he give me the style I want in bed? Stop it, Hope said. Linda laughed again. Hope, please don't act holy. We're all here for the same reason. No, Hope replied. I was thinking like you before, but something changed when I met Raymond. You don't know his heart. Linda stood up and pointed at her. You're so foolish. That's why you'll die poor. Just look at you. You walk like your legs are heavy, talk like a local market girl. No wonder your hair is always dry. You think love feeds people? Wake up. This is the real world." Hope's eyes filled with tears. "You're wicked, and you're stupid," Linda said. "I don't blame you. Poverty is a disease." Hope sat still as Linda walked out, laughing to herself. Later that night, Hope went to the garden to cry. The rain had stopped, but her heart was still wet with pain. Suddenly she heard a soft voice. "Hope." It was Raymond. He had wheeled himself outside. Hope quickly wiped her eyes. I didn't know you were here." Raymond rolled closer. "I couldn't sleep. I saw you from the window. Are you okay?" Hope forced a smile. "Yes, just thinking." Raymond looked at her for a while. "You're different." Hope blinked. "How?" "You're not like the others. You don't fake things. You don't try to impress me. You just exist, and I like that." Hope's heart skipped. She didn't know what to say. Raymond continued, "Sometimes I feel like I'm not enough. Like no woman will ever love me again." Hope looked at him. "You are more than enough." Raymond smiled faintly. "Thank you." For the first time since he lost the use of his legs, Raymond felt like someone saw him. Not the wheelchair, not the money, just him. Back in her room, Linda was talking to her boyfriend on the phone. "Babe, everything is working. Just give me 5 more days. That foolish boy will fall. Once I collect the money, we move." Raymond sat in his mother's room that quiet evening, his voice soft but firm. "Mom, I've made up my mind. I choose Hope." Mrs. Benson's eyes sparkled. "Are you sure, my son?" Raymond nodded. "She's honest. She treats me like I'm human, not a project. She doesn't try too hard. She's just real." Mrs. Benson smiled. "I'm happy you found peace." But just outside the door, Linda stood frozen, eavesdropping. Her heart raced as she gripped the hallway wall tightly. Did I hear that right? He chose her, that local, dry-looking girl? She stormed back to her room and slammed the door, pacing back and forth like a trapped animal. "No, no, no!" she shouted. "I've done too much to lose now. I gave up my boyfriend, spent all this time in this house, forced myself to be nice, and now that poor, dirty girl wants to steal everything?" Her eyes burned with jealousy. "I won't let this happen. She doesn't deserve that money. She doesn't deserve Raymond." Then suddenly, a wicked smile spread across her face. "Yes, I know what to do." She sat down and began to plan. "I'll make her say it. I'll make her say the truth. I'll get her drunk and I'll record everything. Once I show it to Mrs. Benson, that bushrat will be history." Later that night, Hope was reading a letter from her mother when she heard a knock at the door. "Come in," she said softly. Linda entered with balloons, a cupcake, and 2 glasses. "Surprise," she said with a wide smile. "It's my birthday." Hope sat up. "Oh, wow, happy birthday, Linda. I had no idea." "I didn't tell anyone," Linda said, walking in. "I wanted to keep it simple, just me and you. You're the only one I like in this house." Hope smiled. "That's kind of you." Linda brought out a small bottle of wine and poured it into the glasses. "Let's toast to life, to friendship, and to dreams," she said. Hope looked unsure. I've never had alcohol before." Linda laughed. "What? You're missing out. Come on, just 1 glass. Don't be boring. You're not in the village anymore." Hope hesitated. "I don't know, I'm not used to these things." Linda raised an eyebrow. "See, you're already behaving like a wife, always too calm, too serious." "Just 1 glass? It won't kill you." Hope finally agreed and took a small sip. She coughed. "It's bitter," Linda giggled. "That's how it starts. Keep going, you'll like it." A few minutes later, Hope was giggling. Her cheeks were red. The drink had entered her head. Linda slowly brought out her phone and placed it on the chair beside her. She pressed record. "Hope," she said in a soft voice, "tell me the truth. Why did you really come here?" Hope blinked, her voice slow. For the money, of course. Linda leaned in. What money? The 50 million? Hope laughed. I need it for my brother. He's very sick, needs to go abroad for treatment. Linda smiled wide. Do you love Raymond? She asked. Hope shook her head. But I like him. I didn't come here for love. I came for money. I love money. Linda's heart leapt. That's it. That's all I need. She turned off the phone and pretended to yawn. Okay, let's sleep. Hope fell asleep immediately, her body tired and weak. Linda stared at her sleeping face. Fool. Let's see how your mouth will save you tomorrow. The next morning, the sun shone brightly over the Benson mansion, but Linda was already awake. She dressed neatly, fixed her hair, and sprayed her most expensive perfume. She walked to the main lounge like a queen. Mrs. Benson was already sitting there, reading a book. Good morning, Ma, Linda greeted. Good morning, Mrs. Benson replied calmly. I have something very important to show you, Linda said, bringing out her phone. She pressed play and handed it over. Hope's voice came out clearly from the phone. I came for the money. My brother is sick. I don't love Raymond. I love money. Mrs. Benson slowly looked up, her face blank. Even Hope? She said in a low voice. Linda nodded quickly. Yes, Ma. I know you trusted her, but now you see. She's just like the others. Mrs. Benson closed her eyes briefly. Thank you, Linda. I need time to think. Please go. Linda smiled and walked out with pride. Yes, that's how queens do it. Meanwhile, Hope woke up feeling dizzy. Her head ached and her mouth was dry. What happened? She whispered to herself. She couldn't remember much. As she washed her face, something in her heart felt off. Mrs. Benson stood in her room with her arms folded, her face hard and cold. She was watching the recording for the third time, and still her heart refused to understand. Just then, Raymond entered quietly. You called me, Mom? He asked, his voice low. She nodded without looking at him and handed him her phone. Watch this. Raymond played the video, his eyes widened as he listened. I came for the money. My brother is sick. I don't love Raymond. I love money. When it ended, he looked up sharply. Where did this come from? Linda, she replied. She recorded Hope last night. Raymond blinked, shocked. Hope said that? Yes, Mrs. Benson replied firmly, with her own mouth. He stared at the floor for a moment, then shook his head. No. Hope can never do this. I know her. I've seen her. She's not like that. Mrs. Benson frowned. You trust people too easily, Raymond. That's your problem. You let emotions blind you. He raised his voice. And you don't trust people at all. You treat everyone like a suspect. You never even gave her a chance. I'm protecting you, she snapped. You're controlling me, he shouted back. You caused all this. From the very beginning, I said I didn't want this stupid game, but you forced me. You brought those girls into our home and turned love into a competition. Mrs. Benson's eyes welled with tears. I was trying to help you find someone who truly loves you. But you didn't trust me to find it on my own, Raymond said angrily. And now look where it's gotten us. The room went silent. Mother and son stood on opposite sides, broken and tired. Finally, Raymond turned and said, I need to hear it from her. Hope was sitting under the tree in the garden, holding her brother's drawing in her hands. Her eyes were red. She hadn't eaten. Her heart was heavy. Then she heard his voice. Hope. She turned and saw Raymond rolling slowly toward her. Raymond? She stood up, wiping her tears quickly. I need to ask you something, he said, his face blank. Did you say those things last night? Hope froze. What things? That you came for the money? That you don't love me? Hope's hands trembled. I didn't mean it. Linda brought wine to my room. She said it was her birthday. I told her I don't drink, but she kept pushing. I drank a little, and everything became blurry. I didn't even know she was recording me. Is it true? Raymond asked. Are you here for the money? Hope's voice broke. Yes, I came for the money at first, for my brother. He's sick and needs surgery abroad. But I swear to you, Raymond, everything changed. I started seeing you differently. You were so strong, even in pain. So gentle, even when you were angry. I didn't come here for love, but now, I think I found it." Raymond looked at her. "But you said you didn't love me." "I said it while I was drunk," Hope cried. "And even then, I said I like you. Isn't that better than pretending to love you like the others?" He was silent. "Raymond, please," she begged, tears pouring down her face. "Don't believe Linda. She planned all this. She trapped me." Raymond turned his chair around slowly. "I'm disappointed, Hope." Her heart dropped. "Raymond," but he didn't stop. He wheeled away, leaving her standing there in the garden, broken and speechless. Hope's sadness quickly turned into anger. She stood up and wiped her face. She stormed into the house and headed straight to Linda's room. She pushed the door open without knocking. "You evil snake," she shouted. Linda looked up from her mirror and smirked. "Oh, now you remember how to talk." Hope pointed at her, shaking with rage. "You planned it all. You tricked me. You made me drink and then recorded me. You wanted to ruin me." Linda stood up, arms crossed. "So what? I did what I had to do. You want to take my man from me?" Hope's mouth dropped. "Your man? Raymond is not your man." Linda laughed coldly. "He was supposed to be. Until you came in here pretending to be holy and humble, I was winning until you opened that dry village mouth." "You think love is something you can win with lies?" Hope fired back. "I don't care about love," Linda screamed. "I want the money, the life, the soft baby girl lifestyle. I deserve it, not you." Hope shook her head slowly. "You're evil. And you're poor," Linda sneered. "Go back to your dirty house and your sick brother. This place is not for you. You don't belong in a mansion." Hope's eyes filled with tears again, but this time they were tears of strength, not weakness. "One day, all this will come back to you," she said. "You may win today, but the truth doesn't stay hidden forever." Linda laughed again. "Get out of my room, village girl." Hope turned and walked away, her head high. Her heart was bruised, but her spirit was not broken. The next morning, the entire house felt different. The air was heavy, like something bad was about to happen. Hope was helping the cook in the kitchen when one of the maids rushed in. "Come quickly! Mr. Raymond is crying in the living room." Hope dropped the spoon and ran. Linda, who was upstairs, also came down in a hurry. They both entered the living room and found Raymond sitting in his wheelchair, his face buried in his hands, tears rolling down his cheeks. "Raymond!" Hope rushed to him. "What's wrong?" Linda stood to the side, looking shocked. "What's going on? Why are you crying?" Raymond lifted his head slowly, his eyes swollen. "I've lost everything," he said with a weak voice. Hope blinked. "What do you mean?" Raymond looked at both of them. "This house, the cars, my money, it's all gone." Linda gasped. "Gone?" Raymond nodded. "Some time ago, I used this house as a loan guarantee at the bank. I needed money for a new business I believed in, but I was scammed. The people I trusted disappeared with the money, and now the bank is coming to take over this house. We have only 1 week left before everything is gone." Hope sat down slowly, her heart breaking. "Oh no," Linda's face froze. "You mean no more money?" Raymond didn't respond. "I'm sorry," Hope whispered, reaching for his hand. "Why didn't you tell anyone?" "I didn't want my mother to worry," he said. "But now, it's too late." Linda wiped a fake tear from her cheek. "This is so sad," she said, but her eyes were already planning something else. Later that evening, Linda went inside her room and locked the door. She pulled out her phone and dialed her boyfriend. "Hello, baby," she said quickly. "Hey, babe, how's everything?" "Did he choose you yet?" her boyfriend asked. Linda frowned. "Forget that. There's a problem. Raymond is broke," she said sharply. "He lost everything. The business failed, and they used the house for a loan. Now the government is coming to take it." There was silence on the phone. Then her boyfriend said, "What do you mean all the money is gone?" "Yes, oh, even the cars will be seized," Linda said. Her boyfriend hissed, "Ah, so we've wasted all this time, babe. We can't lose like this. There must be something you can still get." Linda bit her lip. "Like what?" "Wait," he said. "Don't they have gold in the house? I remember you said his mother wears plenty of expensive gold jewelry." "Yes," Linda said slowly. "She keeps them in a big box in her bedroom. I've seen it." "Perfect," he replied. "Get close to Raymond. Pretend to care. Then when everyone is busy or asleep, steal the gold. We'll sell them and travel abroad before the house is taken." Linda smiled. "Baby, that's a brilliant idea." "Of course," he laughed. "Don't let all your hard work go to waste. Get the gold and run. You're not a loser." Linda looked around the room and whispered, "I'll do it tonight." "Good girl. Call me after you get it." They ended the call. Linda sat back on the bed, a wicked grin on her face. "No money, no mansion. But I'll still walk away rich." She stood and adjusted her hair. "Sorry, Raymond," she said softly. "But you're no longer the prize. Your mother's gold is." It was a cold, quiet night in the Benson mansion. Most of the lights were off, and the guards at the gate were standing at their post. Everything seemed peaceful. But inside the house, Linda was getting ready to disappear forever. She stood in her room, dressed in black clothes, quietly zipping up her big travel bag. The bag was heavy. Inside it were all of Mrs. Benson's gold jewelry. Necklaces, bangles, rings, and earrings. She had taken everything. She had carefully sneaked into Mrs. Benson's room earlier, opened the jewelry box, and packed it all into her bag. Now, it was time to run. With her heart racing, she rolled her suitcase quietly through the hallway, heading to the back gate. Her plan was simple: escape before anyone noticed she was gone, meet her boyfriend, sell the gold, and travel abroad. She believed she had won. But just as she reached the back gate, a voice called out, "Madam, where are you going at this hour?" It was one of the security guards. He stepped forward with his flashlight. Linda tried to smile. "Good evening, sir. I just want to go and see my aunt. She's sick." The guard looked at the heavy bag and then at the full suitcase. "It's just some of my things," she said quickly. "Open the bag!" Linda panicked. She took a deep breath, then reached into her purse and pulled out a thick brown envelope. "There's money inside," she whispered. "Please, just let me go. Nobody has to know." The guard stepped back. "We don't take bribes here, madam," I said. "Open the bag." Before she could respond, Mrs. Benson's voice rang out from behind. "Open the bag, Linda." Linda turned sharply. "Ma, please, it's not what it looks like," Linda said, her voice shaking. "Then open the bag," Mrs. Benson said again. Linda slowly unzipped the suitcase. Everyone gasped. Inside were all of Mrs. Benson's expensive gold jewelry. Mrs. Benson stepped closer, heartbroken. "You were stealing from me." No, it's not like that," Linda shouted. "It's Hope. Yes, it's Hope. She put them in my bag. She wanted to take revenge because she's angry that Raymond chose me. I didn't know what was inside, I swear." Mrs. Benson folded her arms. "So she entered my room, took all my jewelry, put it in your bag, zipped it up, and you didn't notice?" "Yes," Linda cried. "She's evil. She wants to destroy me. Please believe me." Mrs. Benson shook her head. "No, Linda, you are the evil one." That was when Linda lost control. "Fine," she screamed. "You want the truth? I did it. Yes, I took your gold. What else do you expect from me? I stayed in this stupid house for weeks, acting like I cared, wasting my time on your son." Raymond and another guard appeared from the side, watching quietly. Linda continued shouting, "Do you think I came here for love? Who wants to marry a poor like Raymond? He can't even walk. He has nothing to his name. I came for the money, and now that the money is gone, you want me to leave with empty hands?" Raymond stepped forward, his face cold. Linda pointed at him. "Yes, I used you and your useless legs. You think someone like me will marry a man like you? Please!" Mrs. Benson stepped forward, her face filled with anger and pain. "So, you are not just a pathetic liar. You are also a thief," Linda hissed. "Don't act like you didn't see it coming. I was never here for love. My boyfriend told me to take the gold so we can travel abroad. I was smart enough to listen. You should thank me." Mrs. Benson shook her head. "Thank God my son came up with this idea." Linda paused. "Prior idea?" Raymond stepped forward. "I was never poor," he said calmly. Linda blinked. "What?" "The business loss, the house loan, all lies. I made it up," Raymond explained. "I wanted to see if anyone would still love me without money." Linda looked confused. "Wait, what are you saying?" Mrs. Benson smiled bitterly. "My son still owns this house. He still has his companies. He is a billionaire, just like before." But the wheelchair?" Linda stammered. Raymond nodded. "Yes, I had an accident, but I've been recovering. I started walking weeks ago. I stayed in the chair to test your heart." Linda's knees gave way. She dropped to the floor, shocked. No, please." She looked at Mrs. Benson. "Ma, please, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Please forgive me, I'll return everything." Mrs. Benson stared at her coldly. "You are sorry because you got caught." "No, I mean it this time," Linda cried. "I should have you arrested," Mrs. Benson said, "but you're not even worth it. You poor, local, lazy, good-for-nothing gold digger. You came here to steal, lie, and manipulate, and in the end, you lost everything." Linda began to cry loudly, holding her head. "You are a shame to every woman with pride and dignity," Mrs. Benson continued. "Now carry your empty heart and get out of my house." The guards grabbed her bag, removed all the gold, and returned it to Mrs. Benson. Linda was pushed outside, her suitcase now filled with only her clothes. The gate shut behind her. She had entered the mansion hoping to marry a billionaire. She left as nothing but a disgrace. Mrs. Benson turned to Raymond, her voice soft now. "Are you okay?" Raymond nodded slowly. "I am now." The next morning, the Benson mansion felt peaceful for the first time in weeks. The storm had passed. The lies were over. The thief was gone. In the quiet garden, Hope sat on a bench, watching the flowers sway gently in the wind. Her heart was still hurting from everything that had happened. She had been humiliated, accused, and almost thrown out, but she stayed true to herself. Soon Mrs. Benson walked toward her. Raymond followed, walking slowly but steadily without the wheelchair. Hope stood up immediately, surprised to see both of them together. Mrs. Benson stopped in front of her. Her eyes were watery. "Hope, my daughter, I came to say sorry." Hope blinked. "Ma?" Mrs. Benson stepped closer and held her hands. "I wronged you. I judged you. I doubted you. I let a snake into my house and almost pushed away the only person with a good heart. Please forgive me." Hope's eyes filled with tears. "Ma, it's okay, I understand." Raymond also stepped forward. "I'm sorry too. I should have trusted you more. I let fear and doubt blind me." Hope smiled through her tears. "I forgave you already." They all hugged, right there in the garden. Hearts mended, trust restored. A few days later, Raymond made a quiet trip to the hospital where Hope's younger brother was being treated. He paid for everything: treatment, flight to the best hospital abroad, and follow-up care. When Hope found out, she burst into tears. "You didn't have to do all this," she told him. "I did," Raymond replied. "Because I love you, and I know you love your brother. Helping him is part of loving you." That same day, Raymond knelt in the same garden where they first talked and proposed with a simple gold ring. Hope nodded with a shy smile. "Yes," she whispered. 3 months later, the wedding bells rang. Hope looked like a princess in her white gown. Raymond stood strong and tall, smiling with tears in his eyes as she walked down the aisle. Mrs. Benson cried joyfully as she watched her son finally marry the woman who truly loved him. Everyone clapped and cheered as they exchanged vows. "You may now kiss the bride," the priest said. Raymond lifted her veil and kissed her gently. The crowd erupted in joy. Meanwhile, Linda rushed to her boyfriend after being thrown out. But instead of comfort, He laughed in her face. "No money, no love," he said coldly. "You're useless now." He slammed the door, leaving her heartbroken, broke, and alone. 9 months later, Hope gave birth to a beautiful baby girl named Joy. Raymond held her with pride, and Mrs. Benson smiled warmly. Their home was now filled with peace, love, and true happiness. They lived happily ever after. Dear viewers, what lessons did you take away from this dramatic tale? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the story, give us a thumbs up, share it with friends, and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest updates. Thanks for watching, and stay blessed.